I'm going to go ahead and call this evening's meeting to order for the City Council meeting on March 6th, 2018. I'd like the audience to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please show that the entire council is present. And we have the consent calendar, but I do have a speaker card. Someone would like to address two of the items on the consent calendar. Ann Stanaway.
The items I want to address are, I'm Ann Stanaway, 1553 Haviland Place, Clayton, California.
Thank you.
Right. The items I want to address are items 3C and 3D. Item 3C, adopt a resolution supporting Proposition 68, California Drought, Water, Parks, Climate, Coastal Protection, and Outdoor Access Act of 2018. This is an initiative much overdue. I hope that our landscaping committee will be able to implement sustainable development policies in Clayton. Okay. 3D, adopt resolution supporting the Reducing Crime and Keeping California Safe Act of 2018 ballot initiative. And the big question here is how will Clayton actually keep its commitment that is inferred by this initiative? I'd be interested to see how the City of Clayton papers over its lack of appetite to enforce public safety ordinances. That's it for me.
All right, thank you. And with that then, I'll entertain a motion for the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Unanimous. I would like to note that there was a typo noted on page 3 of the minutes, and also wanted to note that in the consent calendar, by approving this, we have appointed Ted Sutter, Doris Ward, and William Wiggins to our landscape Trails and Landscape Citizens Advisory Committee for terms of office to expire on December 31st, 2018. So I want to welcome them to the Trails and Landscape Committee. Thank you. Next up then is the recognition and presentation section. And we do have something to hand out this evening. Alan White. Alan's been a long-time officer here with the Clayton Police Department, and he's finally chosen to retire from our police force and wanted to recognize his many, many years of service. And start off with a very nice plaque with sincere appreciation to Alan White. And what I'd like to do, Alan, I'd like to read actually the last dispatch that went out on Friday. It was actually over the airs went out at 1:10 to all units that were in service at the time. I thought it was very fitting, and I wanted to share that with the audience. The actual text that went out and was read over the air, units prepared a copy, a farewell to 17 by 1 Officer Alan White, Clayton Police Department, badge 023. Units, Officer White is completing 22 years of service, having worked for the City of San Pablo, the Contra Costa Community College District, and his last 17 years with the City of Clayton. Officer White has served with pride and distinction and has been a citizen favorite and calming presence, not only for Clayton residents, but for early morning Starbucks customers at Clayton Station also. Officer White, we wish you continued enjoyment at the golf course and with home improvement projects on the horizon, as well as your next chapter with the county. Your retirement is much deserved. Congratulations and thank you for your service and dedication to the city of Clayton. Thank you, Alan.
I'd just like to say it's been a good long run, 17 years, a little over 17 years. I've enjoyed my time here. I've really enjoyed the community service aspect of law enforcement, which is very much a part of Clayton and the atmosphere that we have in Clayton. I'm a resident of Clayton, so I will continue being here and around, so I'm sure you'll all see me, to include Starbucks. That won't change, just a little less often probably. But I've had a good long run, and I've really enjoyed my time here, and I look forward to my next endeavor working for Animal Services for Contra Costa County. Thank you.
Next up, we have some certificates of recognition, and these, we're actually going to start with two certificates that were to be awarded at our last city council meeting, but unfortunately we had a mix-up on scheduling, so we wanted to catch up on that this evening. So these will be for two Clayton Valley Charter High School students, one of which is with us this evening, and understand that we are going to be joined to give away these items by the council. Excuse me? Yes.
That'd be him. Bob.
Bob Ralston, please. So I think Zach Zorn is here this evening.
Okay, first, we got two great kids from Clayton Valley High School that we're going to honor tonight. Okay, we got two great kids we're going to honor tonight from Clayton Valley High School. And one of them I known for 3 years, and that's Zach Storn. And Zach's a winner. And I've been blessed to get to know him. And he's being honored for kindness, because he's always has a smile on his face. He's always there to help anybody he could help. And I couldn't be more proud to be his counselor. I also coached him in baseball. And, he has a 4.4 GPA. And he's going to be a doctor someday. And I often think, I hope, I'm around still, that if I do need help, I can count on Zach to help out and be my doctor. And he's such a nice kid. He does tutoring for people at school, and he goes out of his way to help others, not just for himself. He's always there to help others, and I'm very proud of Zach Storn.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Zach, we're not done. We're not done. Have two more. Actually, we have a proclamation from our state senator. Both of them here. From Stephen Glazer, presented to Zach Storn. On behalf of the California State Senate and the people of the 7th Senate District, I commend you on your recognition by the Clayton City Council and for exemplifying great kindness by doing the right thing. Congratulations on this honor, presented by Stephen Glazer. Not to be outdone, we also have one from our Assemblyman, Tim Grayson, reading something very similar. Being a 2017 Mount Diablo Elementary School Doing the Right Thing awardee, your willingness to exemplify and great kindness has earned you recognition and honor. On behalf of the people of Assembly District 14, congratulations.
I think we'll have them get that fixed.
I think we'll change that to read properly. This is not just for elementary school. This is for much more recognition. So the thought is there, certainly, to be recognized by your assemblymen as well.
We do expect you to maintain your 4.0, though, at that school.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Okay, you can take that. Okay. Now, Bob, we have a similar certificate For Henry Smith, he's unable to join us. Did you have some nice words to say about him as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This is from his counselor, Sarah Demain. She wrote, at practices and games, Henry Smith can always be seen cheering for his teammates, offering words of encouragement, or being the first to give a high five or pat on the back. Off the field, he makes his responsibility as a co-captain to keep the rest of the teammates on track academically and behavior. Henry prides himself on being himself, being resilient, tenacious, lighthearted, curious, and responsible, and it shines in all he does. Tonight he's playing in a lacrosse game, so that's why he could not attend tonight.
So you'll be able to take in then the certificate of recognition from the council, as well as also a certificate from Senator Glazier and Assemblyman Grayson. So you can certainly give him our congratulations. All right?
See if they have to say. I wonder if that was a mistake.
So next up, we're going to move to this month's awards, and they are for self-discipline. And we'll start with the Mount Diablo Elementary awardee, and Delaney Brady and Don Edwards. I believe you're here. Hi there, congratulations. Okay.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Briscoe. I'm one of Delaney's third grade teachers. My job share partner couldn't be here this evening. I think it was pretty clear in probably September that Delaney would be our candidate for self-discipline. She has one of the strongest work ethics you've ever seen in a third grader. Delaney is extremely hardworking and dedicated. She's out of the room sometimes for some pull-out programs, and the second she comes back in our classroom, she sits down, looks around, figures out what she needs to do, gets out what she needs to do, and just starts doing it. And she just knows. She just figures it out, and she's with us. Delaney has made amazing progress this year from all of her hard work, and it's so exciting to see. And this year, in our classroom, we have a student out on medical leave, and Delaney has one of the most thoughtful, considerate students regarding our other student, and it's been so wonderful to see all that she's had to offer. So we are so proud of Delaney, and she is so deserving of this self-discipline award tonight.
We are so proud of you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get everyone back up for a group shot a bit later. Okay, next up then, we have the awardees from the middle school. And Patty, understand they weren't both able to join us, but Alexander Hockey is here? Oh, but they both are here now. Okay, good.
Bonus.
So every year every time I come, I always think I pick the best ones. But, you know, Diablo View has such wonderful students, and the two students I've selected for self-discipline are very well deserving. So it's Lane Moraes. So I asked her teachers to tell me something about. I always know Lane is very responsible, and I see her always working hard at school, but her teacher, Mrs. Plutz, really exemplifies what Lane is all about. She exemplifies self-discipline with her patient, attentive, and kind demeanor. She's a behind-the-scenes worker. She's not looking for accolades for the work she does for others. She's first to volunteer for extra work, and she'll pick up the slack for others in a group. She's a member of our CJSF as well as our leadership team, so I see her a lot doing things around campus for leadership. She was the first name to come to mind when we needed someone to greet. We had, was it a couple weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Councilman Desagne came and spoke to, oh, there's Mrs. Platts, come up here. Come on, Mrs. Platts. She can say it. She sent it to me. You snuck in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're doing a great job. Anyway, Congressman Desagne came to our school to talk about the branches of government, and we wanted some students, about 6 students, to greet him and in the parking lot when he arrived. And Lane came right to my mind because she's so warm and kind. She can, converse with anyone, young or older, and you were just my choice. I also, Lane is so pragmatic. I mean, she's always thinking of how to solve a problem. Sometimes when she sees me, I'm kind of defeated in class. 8th grade can be a tough gig, day after day. And sometimes, I look frazzled, and Elaine will say something kind, or she'll direct the student that maybe I'm having an issue with. She'll just be so kind and just kind of like, I'll say, okay, maybe I should be as kind as Lane. And so I look up to Lane sometimes, the way that she acts in class when I'm kind of frazzled. And so I appreciate that. She just has all the qualities of do the right thing. It's hard to pick one of them, but we're honoring you for self-discipline tonight. So Lane Moraes. Okay. And then yes.
Okay, our other student we want to recognize tonight is Alex Ackel, and he is amazing. I wish I had a picture of it, but Alex is in our robotics class, or club, and it's just amazing to see because he put together a 3D printer. And I was in the room one day, and he was showing me how it worked, and I said, Alex, how did you do that? Because it's got all these wires, and I said, how did you put that together? And he goes, I just kept working at it. So he certainly exemplifies self-discipline too, but I want to let Mrs. Putz tell you about Alex.
I'm so lucky to have Lane and Alex in the same class. So just like if I asked Alex how he put together that 3D printer, Alex would very kindly start telling me, and then, I would be like, okay, now he's like 3 steps farther than I can even wrap my head around what the heck he's talking about. But he's so kind the way he explains things, and so complete. But anyway, Alex is also, help is on the way, because Alex Ackel is going to be a scientist or an engineer or an innovator who's going to create something very good for the world. He's like Elon Musk in the making. I can't even, he's very theoretical, but he's also pragmatic as well. He's down to earth, even though his mind kind of goes in a way that sometimes I'm like, okay, that's 2 steps farther than I can think about that concept. But anyway, he's very kind. He's good to people. Both of them love animals, which in my book is the best. And he's attentive in class, and he's got all the student skills, and Clayton Valley Charter High School is going to be extremely lucky to have these two come their way. Engineer Academy and Public Service Academy. Okay, thank you.
Okay. We'll get pictures of you with the whole group here. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And then, Bob, I think we have 2 more awardees in from the Charter High School. Yes. Go ahead. Introduce Max. Okay.
Mike.
We have a freshman at Clayton Valley, our first freshman to win this award. And the reason why he won this award is I called Coach Coakley and Coach Hara, and I asked them, give me a kid who was real self-disciplined. And these 2 guys, these 2 coaches are very disciplined individuals, so that's why I called on their behalf and asked them what they thought. And the first name they brought up was Max Kiel. And they say he leads by example, he does all the right things. You don't have to ask him to work hard. He's going to work hard. He's going to give full effort wherever he does. He's also involved in the engineering program, also with the 4.0. And so I looked up his grades today, to make sure he had a 4.0. And the first thing I looked at was his tardies and his absences this semester. Of course, he hasn't been absent one day, and of course, he hasn't been tardy one day. So that's why he's self-disciplined. He comes to work every day, shows up, does the best he can, and Coach Coakley calls him a little grinder. Maybe one of these days he'll be a big grinder. Okay, and that's Max. And I had one more who couldn't make it tonight, and she's with the swim team, so they had practice, and they practiced over at Mount Diablo because our pool was out this year. So her name's Margaret York, and she's a real special young lady. She has 9 siblings, and her mom passed away a few years ago, and she's just been a great role model for her family, and self-disciplined like no other, shows up every day. And I asked another person on our campus, one of the most important people on our campus, our attendance secretary, Wendy Bumbuck, and she wrote a nice little thing about her. As a senior at Clayton Valley High School, Margaret York is not your average student. Margaret is a busy student leader who participates in water polo and swim team. She does this while maintaining straight A's in her rigorous courses. All that said, the quality that stands out in Margaret is her drive to be successful while being dependable. Dependable is not a word often used for a teenager, but with Margaret, her teachers can depend on that. She will come to class on time, ready to work. Her teammates are depend on her to come to practice and give all to the team. Her family of 9 siblings can depend on her to help drive the younger ones or help with what is needed. Her friends can depend on her to be a loyal listener. Clayton Valley Charter is lucky to have a student to be an example to others. We look forward to Margaret's future plans in college. We know she will be successful in endeavors due to the fact she is always willing to dive in and work for what she wants. So that's Margaret York. She's probably going to go into the ROTC, and she wants to be a nurse.
Thank you, Bob. We'll make sure she gets her certificate as well. So if all of the students that were recognized this evening for their Do the Right Thing attribute, please come up. We'll get a group shot, please. Yeah, go ahead and stand with the high school.
There's only one.
We're good. 1 on 1.
You have to turn your camera on. She's cute, isn't she?
She's standing in front of you. There you go. And this is
Okay.
Clayton. We want Clayton Valley side with you and got it.
Yep.
I will move this. Okay. Okay, ready, set. Big smiles. Big smiles. Like, laugh. Oh my gosh. That's so good.
Those smiles.
All right, you got all the shots we wanted?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Yes, please. Thanks, Bob. Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you.
We have one more proclamation, and this is David Hoffman and Paul Adler here in the audience. Yes. These gentlemen are representing the American Red Cross, and I have a long proclamation to read to honor all the wonderful work that the American Red Cross does. We recognize you as for the whole month of March. So this is a proclamation in the city of Clayton, state of California, declaring March 2018 as American Red Cross Month. Whereas the American Red Cross saw a record-breaking year in 2017 of challenging domestic and international response efforts. Through the support of its volunteers, in just 45 days, the Red Cross responded to 6 of the largest and most complex disasters of 2017, including back-to-back hurricanes, the deadliest week of wildfires in California history, and the horrific mass shooting in Las Vegas. In addition, the Red Cross responded to nearly 50,000 home fires in 2017, providing casework assistance to help 76,000 families recover. And whereas in Contra Costa County, the Red Cross has a long history of helping our neighbors in need. The Red Cross in Contra Costa assisted with 113 local disasters, affecting 202 families in the past year alone. In our area, the Red Cross handled 124 emergency military calls, assisted 471 military families, and collected 15,937 units of blood from our generous blood donors. The Red Cross taught first aid, CPR, and AED to 5,141 enrollees. Aquatic and water safety classes were taught to 4,464 enrollees. I'm getting tired just reading all the stuff they did. Whereas March is American Red Cross Month, a special time to recognize and thank the Red Cross volunteers and donors who give of their time and resources to help members of the community. The Red Cross depends on these local heroes to deliver help and hope during a disaster. We applaud our heroes here in Clayton who give of themselves to assist their neighbors when they need a helping hand. And whereas across the country and around the world, the American Red Cross responds to disasters big and small. It collects about 40% of the nation's blood supply, provides 24-hour support for military members, veterans, and their families, teaches millions life-saving skills such as lifeguarding and CPR, and through its Restoring Family Links program, connects family members separated by crisis, conflict, or migration. And whereas we dedicate the month of March to all those who support the American Red Cross mission to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. Our community depends on the American Red Cross, which relies on donations of time, money, and blood to fulfill its humanitarian mission. Now, therefore, I, Keith Aden, Mayor, on behalf of the Clayton City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2018 as American Red Cross Month in Clayton, California, and encourage all Americans to support this very worthwhile organization and its noble humanitarian mission. Thank you very much, and we're very proud to give you this proclamation with all of this outstanding data on all the work you do. And this was just all in 1 year. So this was just amazing what the Red Cross has done. It's certainly expanded the services that most of us associate with Red Cross. And thank you for your volunteer efforts as well.
Thank you.
Here?
I just want to say specifically about Contra Costa County, we had 150 volunteers from Contra Costa County go up to the North California fires. Some of them spent 2 weeks up there out of their lives to help out. There were 30 volunteers who spent weeks in the fires and in the floods throughout the rest of the country. So there's just a lot of wonderful people here in Contra Costa County who have supported the Red Cross. So if you get an opportunity to do that, it's a wonderful thing to do. We really enjoy it, both Paul and I.
Good. Thank you again.
Okay.
Just thanks again to the city staff for helping us prepare this proclamation. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you also to the fellow city council members for honoring the Red Cross.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Here, why don't you hold this? Yeah.
What do you want? Oh, okay. Here.
With your fingers.
Yeah.
There we go. I know we'll be able to read it. Very good.
Okay, thanks. Again, appreciate it. Thanks.
You bet. You bet. Okay. Show that here. Thank you very much. Thanks again.
You bet.
All right, now we move into reports. Planning Commission, Peter Cloven.
Greetings, City Council. Planning Commission met last Tuesday evening, February 27th. I was elected to serve on the Transpac as the Transpac representative, so I will be seeing one of you, I guess, on Thursday morning. There was only one item on the agenda, and that was the review of site plan review permit for 121 Oak Court. It was a single-family residence. They'll be adding 1,080 square feet of space to that residence. Both residents and forward and after the residents were approved of it, and it was unanimously passed by the Planning Commission, and the meeting was adjourned. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Any questions? Yep. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to have a meeting that shows some work's going on in Clayton. Good. Next up, Trails and Landscape Committee, no meeting was held. City Manager report. Gary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Just one item with the departure of Mr. Alan White, no longer police officer Alan White. Wanted to let you know, I think you already know as council members, but Chief Warren has selected his replacement on the force. It will be Police Officer Tori Jarvis. And Officer Jarvis started on Monday, was sworn into office, the oath of office, and then, like all good police officers, she went out and had lunch. So, no, just kidding. But her family was here, and her family was here, and so it was great that she had an opportunity to go out and celebrate her employment with the city. So we are still at full force, and that is great. Officer White did give us advance notice of his pending departure, so we were able to start that recruitment ahead of time. We thank him for that courtesy, and we look forward to great things from Officer Jarvis.
Thank you. All right. Go ahead now with City Council reports. Councilmember Catalano.
So I attended on February 21 the Library Foundation Board meeting. So I'm the current liaison to that board. I think the one thing I want to mention from them, they do have their big annual fundraiser, the Creekside Festival, coming up. The dates are March 23 to 25. So that's one activity. And then I do want to also mention I am chairing the CPCA Scholarship Committee again this year, and the scholarship period is open right now. It is directed to high school seniors who are graduating and who are continuing on to college. You have to be a Clayton resident, but the application is open right now, and the deadline for filling out an application is April 2nd. So if anybody is interested, the application materials are at the CPCA website at claytoncpca.org.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Shuey?
Nothing to report.
All right. Councilmember Pierce?
Yes, I had the opportunity a couple of days after our last council meeting to get a tour along with my colleagues on the Metropolitan Transportation Commission of the North Bay fires. And we had a good discussion with their emergency services officers, their chief of the fire department, and the supervisors, as well as the mayor of Santa Rosa, to hear about directly what's happening. It makes it all the more clear that whatever things we have to have in place to qualify for FEMA money, we better get them in place now. If we don't have everything in line, you don't qualify for money after a disaster. And what happened up there could just as easily happen to us. With that in mind, I have been talking with our supervisor about getting our fire chiefs and agencies around Mount Diablo together to work on new strategies for what we might need to do based on what they're learning up in the area of the North Bay fires, where they had 100-foot wide plowed fire breaks around their state parks. Ours is, I think, 30. Even that didn't stop it with a firestorm. It can't, but it would have given us a little better chance if something like that. So anyway, we need to have those discussions, and I understand that we'll have some people who object, but we need to put some things in place and make sure that all of our codes are up to speed and all of our ordinances are ready so that we're prepared to accept disaster money if we need it. Whether it's a fire, whether it's a flood, whether it's, who knows, earthquake, all of those things. But it was very instructive, and the financial impact is going to be felt for at least 10 years up there. It's really tremendous. If you stop and think about the loss of property tax, which is our biggest income, that's a huge deal, because most of those properties go back to maybe $100,000 for the dirt. That's it. Where there were $1 million homes. So that makes a big hit on their property taxes. Anyway, that was very instructive, and I'm happy to talk with anyone that wants to know more about that. We also went up to the California Transportation Foundation Awards day, and one of the most interesting speeches that day was about disruptive technology and predicting where we will be in the future because of automation and the things that are happening with technology. And the prediction is, and the guy has never been wrong, and he's been doing this for 25 years, is that within 5 years we will have, and it was on TV tonight, self-driving, driverless, no steering wheel vehicles that will come and pick you up and take you wherever you need to go. You will no longer need to own a car of your own. And so that's going to disrupt the way we do everything. But that's coming within 5 years. And today, the Contra Costa Transportation Authority put on a public street in San Ramon the first driverless, no steering wheel, no brake pedal, electric shuttle on public streets going between the BART station and Bishop Branch. We got the first permit for that in the United States from the federal government. And so we will be running those on a regular basis. We are testing out at Gomentum Station. The news, all of the major news channels had it on their 6 o'clock news. I suspect it'll be on at 11 o'clock as well. Very, very interesting. It's something we've been testing on private property at Bishop Branch for a year, but we finally got the permission to put them on public streets. So it's a fascinating technology, and it's going fast. Had 2 Contra Costa Transportation Authority meetings and 4 meetings of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. That's it.
You say that's it, but it takes a lot of time, and we appreciate you representing Clayton.
Thank you.
Councilmember Diaz.
Thank you. Just 2 things to report. On Friday, the 23rd of February, I attended the graduation of the 51st Academy class of the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District. And I have to comment that this was the largest class they've had to date graduating. 24 new firefighters, both men and women, for the first time in recent memory. And I have to really note that under the leadership of Fire Chief Jeff Carmen and Assistant Chief Lon Gesh, who was the MC for that event, Lon was our liaison back when we were struggling to get Fire Station 11 back open, and he has since moved on up the chain there at the fire department, and now is over all training. And it's just a compliment to them that this class is really outstanding, and it was a great presentation, well attended by all family members, and it was a great event. The only other thing I need to mention is as we approach April, Art and Wine Time on the 28th and 29th is coming up quickly. Our committee is moving very rapidly. We have a great number of food vendors and street vendors. It's going to be a great event, April 28th, 29th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I attended the monthly CBCA meeting on Thursday, February 22nd, gave the city report and represented the city there. Then on the 23rd, with Jim, attended the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District graduation. I also was very impressed with the large class of 24 new firefighters that are going to be added to the force. Very impressed with the about 18-minute video that they had put together that showed different segments of the training that they had gone through. Very, very rigorous training that they put those prospective firefighters through to make sure that they're ready to hit the floor running. And very impressed with that. The good news out of that for Clayton is that one of those 24 is going to be assigned to our Station 11 here in Clayton. So very good news for us, but a very nice graduation ceremony. Then also attended the Cub Scout Pack 262's Blue and Gold Banquet on the 23rd that evening. And then on Monday the 26th, attended the Habitat Conservancy Board meeting. And of particular note for our Clayton residents, we did approve and accept the mitigation fees and mitigation obligations created for the Contra Costa County Public Works Department's Kirker Pass Road northbound truck climbing lane project. So they're finally going to be widening that northbound lane to allow the slow trucks to move over to the right and let the traffic continue on over the hill. So that project is making progress as well. And then on Thursday the 1st, attended the Mayor's Conference. And then on Sunday, had the pleasure of attending the Clayton Club Chili Cook-Off and was able to participate as a judge based on my position this year as mayor. So that was fun to do that, and tasted 17 different chilies, quite a variety, all made right there on the scene. So that was fun to do. So you see, we've all been busy between meetings, so there's lots to do for us to continue work in support of Clayton. All right, moving on then to public comment, and this is public comment on non-agenda items. Anyone wishing to address the council?
Hi, Tamara Steiner, Clayton Pioneer. Just want to remind everybody that Clayton Cleans Up is a go for this year. We're going to comply with the county requirements for food service, which is going to be a challenge, but my very capable husband is fully in charge of that. I will have nothing to do with it. So Clayton Cleans Up is on the week before, is it the 22nd, week before Art and Wine, whatever date, is that the 22nd?
23rd.
23rd. April 20, rain or shine.
Very good. Good news. Thank you. All right, seeing no one else, we'll close that off and go to public hearings. We have none, and move to action items then. And the council now will consider an independent safety inspection report on the existing North Valley Park playground and surrounding areas, and provide direction to staff regarding the extent of improvements to the park's resilient play surface, new playground apparatus, sheltered picnic canopies, and shade trees. Mark Janey, Maintenance Supervisor.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. We met back on January 16th, and council had some questions for staff to go research. We have researched those items. One was to get an independent inspection on the play equipment that's existing there and to see if the equipment was good, if there was replacement parts that could be used for the existing equipment. Cost estimate to install a shade sail over the existing or the new playground equipment, and if there was a nearby park with the option 3 that we showed you at the 16th meeting. And at that same council meeting, council members seemed to be in agreement that we did need a new rubber surface, trees replanted in the park, and a couple shade structures for the actual picnic areas. We then, after the meeting, followed up looking for playground inspectors, independent playground inspectors, and found one in Martinez, and it was probably butcher his name, Barco and Kilman and Associates of Martinez. And Mr. Kilman came out and inspected the equipment, and then did a report, which the findings are attached to the staff report. And I'll just go over a few of the items. He found some entanglement issues on the slides where kids, you know, from their hoodies or any belts could get stuck. I noticed steps that weren't the same height, which is a no-no on equipment. I think they were like within an inch or inch and a half, if I remember right. There was some cracking. He noticed some corrosion. And he did see there could be some ADA issues. We sort of looked into it, but depending which way we go with the equipment, staff is going to research it further. Then I got in touch with Miracle Supply. the company that supplied the playground, and equipment can be retrofitted to it. You can't get really replacement parts. It would be just new equipment that would fasten on to the existing poles. The problem with that is we don't know how the poles are underneath the rubber until we pull the rubber up. So then we could be replacing all of the equipment essentially with parts. Taking it apart, which could get very costly on the retrofit, because I know for sure all the slides would need to be replaced just because of the construction of them in sections. And I actually went down and looked at Lydia Lane's park, because that's the newest playground, and the slide is actually two pieces, and how it connects is it actually overlaps instead of butting up piece by piece. And then on the third thing, on option 3 of the park, I found out from the one that gave me that proposal from the company that they actually just put those in databases, and they have no idea if it was ever built. They know it was designed, but they don't know if there's a park in the Bay Area or anywhere to go see it. And then just back to background, we brought, the 3 options that we showed you at the last meeting. With option 1, a larger play structure than is existing there. And by larger, just meaning it has more decking, so it gets a little higher up and has some more climbing pieces to it. And option 2 was pretty much a replacement of what is there. And the third option, which we don't know if there's a park around the area, is a more natural looking with rocks and some bridges and some other toys with it.
Worst sales job in the world.
And then again, that's what I didn't go over, the shade for the whole structure. I got an estimate on that, and we were looking at almost, what was it? Sorry. Let's see. 43 to 48,000 to cover the whole playground that's there. And that would include engineering, the actual install. The install is almost the same cost as the actual structure, because he was telling me the supports have to go in about 13 feet. It's rated at 90-mile-an-hour winds, so it's a pretty hefty shade structure. And then back to the fiscal impacts, if we went to installing new equipment and a shade structure and everything, the cost now can range anywhere from $140,000 to $186,000. And then we're just estimating if we did some ADA improvements with curb cuts, so it's better access from the court, and maybe widening of the path, that could add another $8,000 to $15,000, just depending what we determine needed to be done. And there was budgeted in the last year, or this year's budget, $165,800. So we did get some slides if you want to review the equipment that we have, or any questions.
Any questions to staff this time?
Okay, Dave, as it stands right now, is there any piece of equipment that needs replacing?
There?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 slides. The decking where the stairs do not match, I don't know if you have to replace the whole decking to get the stairs at the right.
Okay. The stairs are the original as installed, correct?
I would assume, but how I looked at it, again, I'm not an expert on it, is I think it's settled some, because if you look at the gapping on the slides, I don't think it was that much when it was brand new.
Have we received any complaints about the slides?
No, not to my knowledge.
Mr. Mayor, if I might.
Yes.
Mr. Gianni, there was one portion in the refindings that there were entanglement issues.
That's with the slides where they have the gapping, and if you have the strings for your hoodies, or your belt might be loose.
Okay, but
They
I
could get
also
stuck.
thought there was a concern about the spill zones for the slides.
Oh, yes, there was. He
existing
did
slides.
report, that how they come down to each other, the zone that you're supposed to have, the safety zone. If you had two kids at once, you could have a collision.
Thank you, Gary. Any other questions of staff this time? Julie?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm, it appears from the report that the shade structure is a fabric shade sail
Yes.
that's mounted on these 4
Post.
heavy-duty posts. Is there any thought given to doing a metal cover instead that would be all-weather? Because these things are going to have to be replaced, and they're not cheap, having replaced some of my backyard ones. I know that, and they're much smaller than this would be, so I'd be curious about whether maybe a metal cover is more reasonable.
I would think still the engineering cost, or the cost of the install would be just as expensive, just because you would have to engineer it for the winds and.
Yeah, okay.
But
it would need to be replaced every
lasting, yes,
couple
it would
years.
last a lot longer.
Yeah, it wouldn't burn out in the sun. Yeah, okay.
So one other question, it did look like the actual material itself, the umbrella versus the metal, were actually very comparable in price, just the installation.
You're speaking of the small.
The 12 by 12 by 10?
Yeah, I don't know when you get into the larger for the whole playground, we're talking, what's that, probably 20 by 20?
Probably at least.
I was gonna ask
It may get.
if that's similar.
It probably matches close. I couldn't see it being much different. I did not price it because the request was to see what sales would be.
Okay.
But I would assume that it's very close in cost.
Okay. Thank you. We may come back with some questions later, but thanks, Mark.
All right.
Okay, we want to open this up then for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the council? Seeing no one, we'll bring it up to the council then for discussion and direction.
Okay. With absolutely no offense to Mark, who was doing his job, this is a bunch of crap. This safety inspection, the report, this is all just one big scam on America, and coming out and saying that the spill zones don't work now. Well, they worked when we put it in, and somebody came in and said everything worked, and now they change everything just so they can plan obsolescence. I don't buy the fact that there's any need to replace that structure at all. I understand it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to get my way on that, but I think this is just absolutely ludicrous. Entanglement issues. Every time there's a scene, there's an entanglement issue. It is a self-perpetuating system to sell more stuff. We need to replace that surface. The other stuff should not need to be replaced, but I understand that now, because we're government and because now we got a report, we've now placed ourselves at risk. It's absolutely, it pisses me off to no end, but we're stuck with it now. That being said, option 2 is the cheapest, and it goes with what we have, what we originally designed for the park, and that has served adequately for the public. And I'm frankly now, based upon what I've seen from the stuff, I suggested we look at shade covers. I don't think they're worth the price. I don't think we do it. I don't like the look. I don't think it fits up there. And the ADA is also, I'm flabbergasted. They can always find something, and you're 6 inches off. We've had absolutely no complaints. We've had no problems up there. This is just a load of poppycock. So those are my thoughts and comments.
Any other?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I was looking to you. Julie.
David, I'm glad you acknowledged that we're going to have to do it anyway, because we do have a report that tells us it's, quote, unsafe. And so therefore, you know better than anyone the risk of going ahead and leaving it there. I actually do think it will be less expensive to replace it than to try to repair it. And the number 2, I think, not only matches better with what we have, I think it's probably a whole lot more fun for the kids than either of the other designs as well. I agree. I think the shade cover is probably way too expensive and rather bulky. I'm wondering how close to this play area we might be able to plant some rather quickly growing shade trees.
Yeah.
That would help to provide some, at least some time of day type shade or that sort of thing. And then as far as the picnic bench covers, I'd love to do those metal covers like we have in the Clayton Community Park.
And I'm fine with that.
And I think those are just perfect, and they're necessary if you're going to be out there in the heat of the day. Even if the kids are out playing in the sun, they can always come in and cool off under the shade for sure. So I think that's what we should go forward with and replace the play system at the same time as replace the surface. The surface is definitely in horrible shape, and let's get it done and cleaned up.
Jim?
No question, just to concur with what Councilmember Pierce talked about in terms of the covering out there. And I know that whatever that mat is needs to be replaced, so we've got to do that.
I would make it a motion.
Well, just one.
Make the second.
Okay. One other comment. I did go up and also look at the equipment, and certainly is aging, and with the rust, I think it's just going to get worse. So I think it is appropriate to probably take some action now, and of the options, option 2, I think just replacing what obviously has worked and been successful and kids enjoy playing with would be the way to go. So also agree that the surface should be replaced. Kuya?
Yeah, so my concern last time was, I think we all agreed that the surface itself is worn out and needs to be replaced. And my concern was if we rip out the surface right now, then put a new one in, I don't want to be in a situation where in 5 years then we realize we have to replace the structure and then we've just lost the surface that still has some life expectancy left. So that was my concern. I mean, now we have other reports and other data, so I think we're going towards replacement regardless. But in terms of the 3 options too, I do like number 2, just looking at what kind of features they have, and that one has, for example, the monkey bars that I think kids like, and none of the other 2 options have, and it is obviously, I think it has a lot of features compared to the others, even though it's actually the least expensive as well.
Okay.
One final thing. When you look at stuff like the spill zones and the snare entanglements and the steps, we now have a city engineer that I have faith in, and I would fully expect that we're going to have very good oversight on this and a good report about how everything meets requirements. I mean, one of the things that frustrates me over the years is we look back at this project and it's not that old, and yet we're kind of like, well, I don't know which system it was, and we have to look at this. We're now, we've got computers that are pulling everything up, but when an inspector comes in and says these steps are not adequate, they haven't settled. That's what it was. And so if they're not in compliance now, then somebody screwed up before, and I don't want that to happen again. And I know that with our current staff, that's not going to happen again. But again, this is just something that let's make sure we dot our, T's and cross our I's, whatever we say. But I'm very disappointed in having to replace this thing, because when we designed that park originally, I don't think any of us thought that it would be replaced at this time, because we did a lot of research and we were sold a bill of goods then.
It was 25 years ago.
It's still.
It was 25 years ago. It's had 25 years of wear.
Listen,
nothing lasts forever.
I've said my piece, but boy, somebody's making a mint off of crap like this.
So it sounds like, again, Julie, you're recommending then that we are making a motion, actually, that we replace the surface.
Yep.
And go with option 2 on the
Yep.
structure itself, which is pretty much what they have now, just a replacement of a new unit.
Right.
And then on the shade,
And the shade structures over the picnic benches should be the metal ones to match the ones we have at the Clayton Community Park. And hopefully with the trees, we can get some planted close enough to the play area that they'll eventually provide some shade.
And with trees that are rapid growing, like at the Grove.
Yeah, like we did at the Grove, which came up in no time.
And no shade structure over the plate.
Right, no shade structure.
Over the.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded then. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Reluctantly.
No? Is that enough direction, Mark?
And vitriol.
Yeah, I just want to indicate so that, Vice Mayor Shuey doesn't, flog himself too much, is that in 25 years, safety codes have changed regarding play equipment. So,
Because the play manufacturers have changed them. Bunch of crap.
well, not to be argumentative, but I would have
All right,
to
Mr.
say,
Attorney.
it's probably litigation attorneys
I was
that,
going to say.
You know what? We'll blame them too.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, before we leave, I want to make a comment regarding Mark Janney and his staff. I noticed that we have a new Christmas tree, and I don't know if we've ever mentioned it before,
Yes, it was mentioned.
but I was not available at the time.
We call that a tree for all seasons now.
Yeah, I know, but it really looks nice. And also, and looking at the consent calendar item where we paid for it, I thought it was much less expensive than what we were anticipating. Is that not correct?
I don't know what the final, I haven't seen the final
I know
bill.
what was approved was just over $1,000, and I thought it was in the neighborhood of 4 to 5.
Well, we had to pay for installation.
Oh, yeah, right, I know. But anyway.
Wait a minute, if we underspent, then we got to correct that. We're government.
The money saved will go to this new playground?
Okay.
No, it won't.
Thank you.
All right. So we've given proper direction on that. Then
Yes,
moving
thank
on
you.
then to item 8B, consider a proposal by Clayton Valley Little League for a partnership with the city involving designation of Clayton Community Park as its home fields to include CVLL in-kind maintenance, in-park storage, and a permanent batting cage location. I believe Vice Mayor Shuey is involved in the presentation.
Well, at this point, I am going to have to recuse myself upon the advice of council. I don't think there's an actual or a conflict, but I'm going to work with the city attorney to actually get a ruling on that, in that regard, to make sure that, because the last thing we want to do is go through the process, which we think I can probably participate in, but if I can't, it could muck up the works. So at this point, I'm going to have to recuse myself, and we've got members of the Clayton Valley Little League Board here that will take over the presentation.
So we will still go forward with it.
Still go forward with it, but I'm just going to have to recuse myself until I hear from the Fair Political Practices Committee and the AG, right? Or
Correct. And just to clarify, it's because you're on the board of directors and we may have a future agreement with the Little League.
all right, thanks.
All right.
Good night, Dave.
Then we do have a representative who will make that presentation. See you, Dave.
Don't screw it up. All right. Turns it on.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, Mr. Mayor and City Council, thank you for having me here today. My name is Joe Knapp, and I am the current president of Clayton Valley Little League. I'm here today. I'd like to propose a potential opportunity that would benefit the City of Clayton and Clayton Valley Little League. And this comes from a number of opportunities that we had and we have exhausted. One being the property at CMX Quarry that has fallen short, and we were kind of not going that route anymore. And also with the Clayton Valley Charter High School, the fields that we built before I was born, probably, that we're haven't been able to use as we would like to have. So we're trying to come up with other ideas to create a home for Clayton Valley Little League. And this is about our best bet. And it's what we've come to. So what we're proposing to do is to turn Clayton Community Park into our home base. As of now, when our champion teams go on and play in the TOC,
we don't have a home field. They have no place that other teams can come and we call our home. So we got to go play everywhere else, other people's fields that do have home fields. Our all-star teams, same principle. We don't have a home field. So that's what we have come to you guys today to talk about, to propose this idea. The main thing that the first phase, it'd be in phases, 2 years, 5 years, this could all be done. The main thing that we would like to see happen sooner than later is to have the fields on CCP1, the red fields here, to potentially move this field here, move the home plate back, and create more space for those other 2 fields there on that field. And then also have 2 of our T-ball fields.
Can you stay at the mic?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or you can take it with you.
I can take it with me. I'm sorry. Does it have a pointer on it?
Or you can take it out and wander if you need to.
The red button.
Okay. That'll work. Yeah. Cool.
There you go.
This works? Okay. So
Joe, you said this was a phased approach. Have you broken it into actual phases yet?
we have not.
Okay.
We're still, this is just a proposal to you guys so that you can give us okay.
To see
you
if
like
there's
it.
any appetite, okay.
It'll depend on funding, I suspect.
Yeah, so currently the Little League does have some money to, put forward this project. So going back to this is CCP1, lower field, moving this home plate back. Right now it's enormous. It's like a major league ball field out there as far as the backstops go and everything. It's a beautiful field, but it's just way too big for Little League. So if we move that back, add this field and these 2 fields up here for our minor divisions. And then these down here would be for our T-ball or even our farm, which is just a step up from T-ball. And then we were discussing possibly, like you go to a ball field and what do kids want to do? They want to get snacks. They want to get Cracker Jacks, bubble gum, this and that. So we don't have a snack shack. It's a great source of income for the league. And there's a spot right here. There's a little just shack there, mechanical. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's electricity and water there. So we could add on there and put a snack shack in that area there. And then right there, I'm not sure if it's been proposed yet. Kevin, has that been proposed to put a batting cage in here? So it's fenced on 3 sides. Actually, yeah, 3 sides. So we just need a fence on the back side against the trees there and create an enclosed batting cage. I took my team, both my TOC team, and then so if you win the championship for your division, you are the all-star coach. So last year with my older son, we won the league, and then we went on to play all-stars, and we played at Alameda. And they had awesome batting cages. They had 2 of them, and they're all enclosed, so you can go in there with a batter and the coach throw them batting practice, and the kids are hitting. So it's really good for one-on-one, getting the kids up to skill level. So that's something that even if we didn't do anything, that would be a great addition to put in right there. And that is something that the Clayton Valley Little League could potentially fund by itself. And that all it would require doing is putting a fence on one side and then a fence on the top as well. So going down further, in the long run, potentially putting lights on the field down here and a couple lights up here. So I know this is a big use for soccer, or I don't know how big it is, but I've also heard that people play soccer up here too, on this field. So what I'm saying is that these fields wouldn't take away from the soccer that could be played here.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, yes, please.
AYS, they're not using them though anymore, right?
No.
It's just for people playing soccer for fun.
Right, yeah.
Because they used to use them years
Right.
ago, but
And they're not anymore. And a lot of that stems from
This is
the
uneven.
field conditions.
Yeah. And then-
Which,
Do you mind if I ask another question? So the other fields that are closest to the middle school,
Uh-huh.
I mean, is that city property or it is? Okay.
Well,
Okay.
the majority of it is, there's a section closest to the gymnasium, a strip, if you will, that is actually school district property. And then the rest, as you move out towards the road, is city property.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So you indicate additional parking as well?
yes, yeah. So because, especially up here, this upper field, there's, I don't know, 50 parking spots at the most, so what we're thinking is putting parking stalls along the road here on the right side going up.
So when you talk about a partnership, how would you envision that partnership working?
Would create a lot of people coming to the city of Clayton. If we had all those fields, we could host, like I said, TOC, end of year tournaments, tournament of champion games and all-star games, and have other people coming to our facility, creating revenue. And then us, it would be our home. So we would go out there, we'd diligently take care of that field, and along with the maintenance crew, but they've got other stuff to do, so we could fill in potholes and stuff like that are in that grass and try to, we'd take better care of the place.
So are you proposing then that the city fund or assist you with the actual construction of or redesign of the fields, and then the league would take over maintenance?
No, I don't think we'd be able to take over maintenance, but,
assist with maintenance.
TLC, give it some TLC, that it needs. Yeah, definitely assist with maintenance and anything we can.
Can I ask another question too? So, I mean, I know that there's another group that is fundraising at the elementary school to put in, I think it's primarily a track, maybe a soccer field. I don't know if they've talked at all about baseball or softball fields, and I think their plans have changed a little bit depending on how much money they're raising. But I think they're fairly far along too, so I don't know if you've had any discussions with them or
I'm
know
actually
what
involved in that group as well.
Okay.
So the baseball fields will stay there. The thing now, it was going to go synthetic grass. Now it's changed to go to regular grass. Keeping the baseball fields and just redoing the grass pretty much as it is now, and not much change other than new grass.
So that location doesn't really provide you guys what you're looking for.
It does. So in conjunction with this, that would probably be the only other fields that we would use.
You'd still need that in addition to this.
Correct. And possibly Highlands School and the park to house all of our games. We have 6 different baseball divisions and 3 softball divisions we're close to 600 kids right now. So it's a lot of practice time, scheduling practices and games and stuff, and so there's a huge need out there. And like I said, Clayton Valley High School is really hard working with them. It's hard getting time, and so we're looking.
So you're unable to use those fields?
We are currently, but it's really strict. This year they're having a freshman softball team, which in the past years they have not. So we had one field that we could use pretty much at our own use, and now that freshman softball team is taking that field. So it even cuts down more. Like on game days, we can't be there and we can't interrupt we can't be on the field until they're all gone, which I understand, but it's really strict and conforming to us. It's hard to deal with, and the practice times. So the only time that we can practice on that field now is on Saturdays before the season starts. And so it's to get 7 teams on that practice field on Saturday, it's pretty tough. And that's only one field, and one division. So we're just running into dead walls with them and trying to figure out other solutions.
So it's just getting more and more difficult then to find space available.
Correct.
To meet the need.
Right.
And then you get field envy when you go to the other
totally
communities.
Yeah, even like Antioch, they have an awesome facility over there. They have these big scorekeeper booths. Pittsburgh, like I said, Alameda was beautiful, and even Continental Little League and Concord American, all these places have, really nice facilities that are theirs. Some share with, the junior high schools and stuff like that. I believe Pleasant Hill does. Pleasant Hill Little League shares it with their junior high school. So yeah, something that, we can call home, and like I said, I think it would bring some revenue to the community for sure. Skips, Eds, and Canessas, this place would get hit up all the time if people were going through here.
So are you proposing then that you would be able to assist with funding?
Yes, we would.
Have you gotten any sense of the scope here we're talking about? It seems like quite a bit of work and improvements.
And we have been hitting the fundraising hard on our end, and we do have some money in the bank that we could put forth to this. But as far as how much to do this, I would say just in this area right here, to do all that, would be close to $200,000 just for this field. And that's just to making the fields, the dugouts, and moving this back, this whole thing without doing anything else, really. Just a field would be close to $200,000. And that's just the number that I've thought over. That's plus or minus, of course,
So you're also looking at the efficiency of doing more than just one at a time.
Right.
For instance, you were just suggesting those 3 to start with?
Yeah. Because like I said, we still have Mount Diablo Elementary and Highlands fields that we're in good partnership with them, and even Pine Hollow. So also in this would be creating some more storage, like those other fields that I talked to you about, like Alameda and Pittsburgh Antioch. Behind the home plate, there's a scorekeeper's booth that stands up, about 6 feet, and there's storage underneath it. And that would relieve those knack boxes that are in all the dugouts, which aren't all that sightly, but they work, and that's one of the only things we can use in some of those situations. So primarily like a storage behind this home plate, this one, and then this one, field 1, 2, and 3. Creating more parking.
Can I ask another question? Yes. So my kids don't play baseball or softball, so help me educate a little bit. So what's the primary season? And so how does that coincide with soccer? Because I do think it's a shame that we don't have soccer in Autauga either.
January through June.
Okay.
January, June, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it would probably coincide with the spring soccer, but not with fall soccer.
Yeah, fall soccer is the main season for soccer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gary? Excuse me.
Julie.
I've been trying to be patient.
Okay.
Julia asked quite a few of my questions, but I had a few others because I think you started to touch on it there at the end. And I think one of the things that started this discussion, or maybe just brought it up again, was the issue of needing to find more storage and move where you're using containers for storage now from their current location to something that works. I was up there this afternoon for better part of an hour, walking around the facility and looking at where there are opportunities. And I understand what you're talking about. Gary filled me in a little bit more about what the scorekeeper's booth means and all of that. And then looking at that behind the home plate, I could see where you could put in a storage area that would be underneath your scorekeeper's booth. Mm-hmm. It would be maybe 6 feet high even. You get a fair amount of space in there. I don't know, it's a little tight, but you probably could get a good bit of stuff in there. I mean, it's amazing how much you can get into a 3x10 or something like that even. So I don't think that would be bad as long as it's done aesthetically well and it looks decent. It doesn't look like a storage container. It looks like a building of some kind, or at least a structure that is finished in a way that we'd all be proud to have in our park.
Right.
But I was wandering around a little bit more after that, and on field 1, well, no, it actually was on Field 2 that I was looking at it. On Field 2, between the end of where the dugout is,
This dugout?
on that end particularly, between the end of where the dugout is and the end of the infield area, there's a fence that runs down the side of the infield. And it looked to me like it was probably close to 25 feet long.
Oh, yeah. I
That
know what you're talking
space
about.
in there. And in thinking about it, I'm a big fan of HGTV and the DIY network and some of those, and I've seen an awful lot of those programs where they've taken exactly what you're using for storage now, those steel containers,
Yeah.
and they've clad them
Right.
in a way so they look like a beautiful little house. They're using them in San Francisco right now for housing as well. They're building them, and that's the structure of the building.
Yeah.
But they're completely enclosing them architecturally so that they fit in with whatever their surroundings are. So there are a couple locations up there that I saw that look like they might be able to accommodate some storage if we put a little bit of effort into making those containers or whatever the structure is.
Right.
Another building might be cheaper than cladding it, I don't know. But that wouldn't be all that obtrusive because it really wouldn't be in the way.
Right.
I mean, it's just kind of open space right now
Dead space.
with
almost, yeah.
still a good bit of sidewalk and stuff around it. So it seems to me there are some spaces. We need to get creative about how we do it.
Yeah. I work
and make
for,
sure it all stays to code.
Yeah. I work for Baselight Concrete Products, who supplied the block for the school, the middle school, and all the block around the whole area up there. So we could easily match that block and then create
that would look
structures out of
even
that
better.
same block.
Yeah, that would
That'd
be
be
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think there are some, having walked around it this afternoon for a good while, you know, I had always kind of thought we didn't really have any space for anything, but if we do it right, I think there is some space up there.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of converting Field 1 to 3 actual play fields, and my understanding is by moving the existing infield back, and you're talking what, 25 feet or something like that?
About 20 feet. I had practice there today, and it's a good
Yeah.
20 feet.
Then you're telling us that you could have actually 3 games going on at the same time.
Oh, yeah, easily. That field, well,
It's huge, I know
because
that.
there was another team practicing here, and we were here hitting this way, and our balls were barely hitting the outfield, and that was a majors team.
Yeah, there was a
So, like,
girls,
this-
there was a girls team up there today.
Yeah, this field is, well, Shuey's team was up here.
Oh, that's right,
We were down here today. But, you know, balls were hitting here where,
So you'd put a junior team or something like that on the other field, so you wouldn't have
Yeah.
the long hitters on all 3 fields.
and potentially like a removable fence around, you know, maybe this field, so that if they're hitting here, it'd hit that fence, and these guys would never, these two would not likely hit each other.
Right. And then for fields 2 and 3, those would be usable, if we got so far as able to put in lights and all of that, those would be usable for adult softball too, right?
Brings a lot of money, like.
Yeah,
you know, the
that's
city of
where the
Concord.
money comes from, is having that. And they would probably appreciate having lights because where's that played now? Willow Pass and
Yeah, Willow
Heather
Pass.
Farms?
Yeah, Willow Pass, yeah. Willow Pass, I played in the league a couple years ago, and it was about $1,400 for a 3-month season.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, I got to tell you, I think it's a good idea. I think it needs a little more work, more than just a concept drawing. We need to sit down and figure out how to get it done and how to phase it and all of that sort of thing. But I think it has potential. My concerns about giving up the big soccer field are not huge, primarily because it's not getting used now, and it's got enough ground squirrel holes in it that that's probably why it's not getting used. And we've got the other 2 soccer fields that still can be used.
right. And if Mount Diablo Elementary's redone, probably be one to
Yeah,
play
that
soccer
would
there.
give us another resource in town. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I think it sounds like a good idea. I think we ought to pursue it.
Thank you. Me too.
I have one more question
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
So I know at some point we had some wild boars or something that went up to the upper fields and were digging it up. Is that,
Oh, yes.
I mean, are we thinking about
Every few years.
So do we need to do fencing then, or I mean, are we pretty confident that?
I thought there was a guy going out there and taking them out every Friday night.
The fences don't keep them out.
No, yeah. So I mean,
That's a risk we have.
yeah. Okay.
They'll get around the fences. They'll get under, get around. They'll go right through the fences.
Yeah. Okay.
They're a wild animal.
Yeah.
And if there's food, they'll get to it.
I'm definitely, I do think it's an extreme shame that we have a lot of fields in our town, but some of them are not usable. And like I said, I think it's a shame. I remember when my daughter played AYSO in one of these fields probably 10 years ago, and now AYSO. So I do think it's a shame that we don't have more of our sports in our town.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely sort of intrigued and interested in hearing more and seeing kind of what we could do. And I was very also, like I said, the other group, and you may know more than I do, but the last time I checked, I think they had fundraised a good $700,000 already, and in a fairly short amount of time. So I was actually very positively surprised how successful they had been. So, I'm hopeful that, whatever the mechanism and way is.
Jim, any comments?
Nothing will come up at this time.
Well, I mean, obviously, that's why those fields, yes, just a comment here first. Obviously, that's why these fields were developed in the first place, was the whole idea that we wanted to make these ball fields usable.
Yeah.
And we're seeing we need to fine tune it quite a bit now to make it truly usable, and we're seeing more demand and fewer areas where you can go and actually meet that demand.
Right.
So it does sound like there's some interest on the council, but more input is needed. Gary?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm not going to throw a wet blanket on top of this because Vice Mayor Shuey and I have long talked about since we've been on the working for the city for a number of years. He's
He
Little
just
League.
has to coach a Dodgers team.
Yeah, and of course I played Little League All-Stars and all that kind of stuff. But a couple of sound bites. You remember when we talked about lights on the fields in the past, and Mr. Knapp is correct. The cliche is adults pay so kids can play, and you know what that means in terms of things. A couple of logistical issues here. First off, we do have a quote to redo the Field 1 for the turf. That's probably in the area of $100,000 by itself.
Yeah.
Also, as we start skinning turf and creating infields, we then must reconfigure irrigation systems. Little concerns about the parking up there, what that means in terms of having to put in some retaining wall, or that starts to get into a grade in terms of things. We'd also need to be concerned about making sure under the Fair Play Act, the attorney next to me reminded me, for women's, we have to make the fields at least available for women equal. I don't know what your women's softball demand is, or fast pitch or whatnot. And these are just all the questions that I'm leading towards. I think this is wonderful. I don't think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Knapp, but I don't think you're looking at trying to do this immediately.
No.
Yeah. And so with that in mind, I think we need to.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, sooner than later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to come up with some deal points because the numbers are getting fuzzy, and I heard Little League say we'd like to assist you, meaning the city, in doing this. And I would venture that this is probably in the total context of over $500,000 or more. But there's certainly phase functions that can be introduced more easily than others, and I think that's what they're suggesting. I don't know what the financing partnership might be. I don't know what that quid pro quo might be if they are coming for the home fields, which I think is great and have long thought so. What that means in terms of, maintenance, who's doing what. Is there an expectation if they skin fields and other things? I'm just throwing out questions to be answered, but does that mean that they're looking for higher levels of maintenance service from the city, or are they with those new fields and whatnot going to bring that differential to the table? Is there any offset in rental fees for the fields? Certainly, if I were them, I'd be saying, hey, look, I just brought you X, Y, and Z, and so I would want some discounted rate on fields. That could be offset by more hours of play. So I don't know how those equations work out, but a couple of thoughts. Number one, we probably need to have some written deal points, at least some idea what you have in mind. I think this is a great start, and it certainly gives us a vision to look at, and I don't think there's really any components that I argue with in terms of where it's headed. The other is, from the council standpoint, do you want to have staff work with Clayton Valley Little League? Or in addition to that, did you want to have a subcommittee of the council members to be involved to watch and help that a little bit? Because these are your fields. You're the elected officials, and did you want to assist in guiding that and not have to be at every meeting, but at least to be used for sounding boards in case there becomes some sort of points of view that need to be hammered out? So those are just some of my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Good ideas, Gary. Thank you. Well, you can hear there's certainly an appetite and interest in being able to utilize these fields. And certainly provide a nice playing environment for not only the youth of Clayton, but the whole Clayton Valley and surrounding area. But it's going to take some work.
Yes, it will.
But you're starting. You've come up with some good concepts. You can certainly see and show us what those fields need, how they need to be configured to be usable. But there's quite a few questions. Obviously, you need to continue to flush out and answer.
Yep.
But before we go any further, I do want to open it up for public comment before we make any conclusions. Anyone in the audience wish to address? If so, please come forward. Alan?
I just had one simple question, by the way.
Please.
Alan Lampo. I live here in Clayton, have for 22 years. Your three main fields that you're wanting to work on, pushing one back 20 feet, how's that going to affect its current use? In other words, the high schools, I assume the schools using that field, is it going to affect them negatively? That was my only question. Its current use, is it going to impact its current use?
No, that field is huge. So that field is for our seniors division, and it's like I said, it's almost like a major league field, the infield portion of it. And to affect a middle school, no.
Okay.
It actually, with all the other fields, they could have a whole PE class out there on different fields. And,
Okay.
benefit them. I think.
Thank you, Alan. Well then, another comment?
I do. Michael Urchella. I'm associated with Clayton Valley Little League, lived in Clayton for 16 years, been with Little League for a little over 10, 11. And the league definitely needs these types of fields, these homes. I too have been around to the other leagues within the District 4 region, which is all the way from Oakland to Brentwood, who have excellent fields. I think Joe touched on it a little bit, but the way this could also help, I think, invigorate some of the economy here is in the months of beginning of June through almost the end of July, the District 4 puts on a district-wide tournament of champions and an all-stars. And in all fields and all leagues, they host games, which brings people, like I say, from Oakland, from Lafayette, from Brentwood, from all around to these home fields to do it. So you have, for that month, you have, an influx of people coming in and seeing it. And especially, I think, with Concord and some Walnut Creek, that they kind of know of Clayton, but it's our own little gem here, and it's a great opportunity to get some people flowing through and looking what Clayton can provide. And just as you drive through it, they don't know about our downtown or anything like that, because we're out here. But this just gives another reason, another month of getting some more people to come through our town and see what we love about the town we do here. So. Thank you for considering it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and close that off. Joe, you want to add any more?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Bring it up to council then and discuss the direction on this. Julie?
Yeah, I think Gary raised some good points, all of which need to be fleshed out. I think it would be good to have staff work with the Little League folks. I think probably a subcommittee to stay on top of it's a good idea. I was thinking back while Joe was talking about what they'd like to do, about when we planned these fields back in the late 80s. I was on the planning commission when we made these fields more than 3 pads of dirt and got what we did as a condition of approval out of the Oakhurst subdivision. And what we have there today is far more than any other developer wanted to give us, and certainly Presley didn't either, but they agreed it was really an important amenity for us, and I think they are to be commended for following through and building what we have today. But it certainly needs work, and it needs a team approach to getting that done. And so I would love to see more kids able to use our park. I think it's really a good idea. And, you know, there's a lot of details to work out, but I don't think any of them at this point are insurmountable. The dollar thing is going to be the biggest one, but there is a new park bond going on up for vote. So who knows? Maybe it'll pass and we'll get a couple $100,000 out of it. It won't be enough to solve everything, and I'm sure we have other places we need to spend some of it as well. But you know, that's how we have built our parks in the past, and is using a lot of those resources. So I think it's a great opportunity and a great vision. And refining that a little bit, I think, is probably a really good idea. And so I'm sure between Mark's department and the city engineer and the city manager and Little League, I'm sure we can come up with some answers to that, some plans, and maybe get some estimates on what it would cost, and then start and figure out what bites we can afford at one time.
All right, I like that.
So I'd make a motion to go forward and pursue it and just see what we come up with. Not to approve anything right now, other than let's go look at it.
What about a subcommittee? Premature now, or?
No, I don't think it's
I
premature.
think it would be helpful.
I think so. I'm sure David would want to be on it if he
Well,
isn't in a conflict.
I was
but-
going to ask if he,
No, not right now.
Not
He
at this
cannot,
time.
he can't,
Okay.
he cannot
You can't bring him on?
participate.
Right.
Well, then I will volunteer, having been one of the original architects of of that park. Tuya, you want to do it too?
I would be very interested too. I think we have a lot of families in this town who would be,
Great.
I would be
think so.
interested.
okay.
Should I second her motion?
It's been moved and seconded then that we have provided some direction to you, Joe.
All right, thank
And
you.
get a subcommittee. I'd volunteer myself, but as you can see, I'm spread a little thin right now, so doing other things for the city.
Okay.
But you see that there's great interest on the council in working with the league to see what we can do to meet the need that's obviously out there.
Okay, thank
So
you.
thank you very much for your efforts to get this ball rolling.
All right,
And certainly encourage you to work with our city and the subcommittee.
yeah, we'd be more than happy to work with you guys as well,
Okay.
so.
Awesome.
Is that sufficient direction for now?
Yes, sounds good.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Was there, did I miss the vote?
No, I just gave that to him then. It's been moved and seconded. I want to make sure that met his need. Moved and seconded then that we do provide the direction that's been suggested here. We have formed or will form a subcommittee. Julie and Tulia will serve on that on behalf of the city council to work with the league and staff to work on some of these issues and bring it back to the council. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, thank you. All right, thanks. And then no other council items? Any ideas for or requests for future meetings? Seeing none, we have no closed session, so I will adjourn until our next regularly scheduled meeting on March 20th. Thank you, everyone.